I have a reading for you from the Gospel of Suess. And we're going to talk about some people who are called the Zacks. So, Bob, you can bring up the first slide. Again, a reading from the book of Suess. One day, making tracks in the prairie of Prax, came a north-going Zax and a south-going Zax. And it happened that both of them came to a place where they bumped. There they stood, foot to foot, face to face. "Look here now," said the north-going Zax. "I say, you're blocking my path. You're right in my way. I'm a north-going Zax, and I always go north. Get out of my way now, and let me go forth." "Who's in whose way?" snapped the south-going Zax. "I always go south. Make south-going tracks. So you're in my way, and I say to you, move, and let me go south in my south-going groove." Then the north-going Zax puffed up his chest with pride. "I never," he said, "take a step to one side. And I'll prove to you that I won't change my ways if I have to keep standing here 59 days. And I'll prove to you," yelled the south-going Zax, "that I can stand here in the prairie of Prax for 59 years. For I live by a rule that I learned as a boy back in south-going school. Never budge, that's my rule. Never budge in the least. Not an inch to the west, not an inch to the east. I'll stay here not budging. I can and I will if it makes you and me and the whole world stand still." Well, next one, Bob. Of course, the world didn't stand still. The world grew. In a couple of years, the new highway came through, and they built it right over those two stubborn Zax and left them there standing, unbudged, in their tracks. So, we all think we're pretty easy to get along with, pretty easygoing and kind. But the fact of the matter is, we all have something that we get stuck on. We all have some part of our personalities that only go in one direction. And we need to learn to understand that about ourselves, because that's the nature of the beast. And without understanding, there is no wisdom. Without understanding and wisdom, we get stuck. Living without labels and attachments is really not all that hard. We make it hard, but it doesn't have to be hard. Living without labels and attachments starts by being willing to be willing. If we're simply willing to be willing to consider another point of view, another idea, another story other than the one that we've made up, if we're willing to be willing to do that, we can begin to get unstuck. And so, whether you're heading back to school this week or just continuing on with your life lessons, Let us be willing to allow for a different explanation or a different meaning other than the one we've made up. Let us be willing to take the labels off and see people for who they really are. Let us be willing to not have an opinion about everything. And if we can't stop having opinions, let us be willing to stop expressing an opinion about everything. So your homework, and I know school hasn't officially started yet, but there's always homework. Your homework is to be willing to be willing. To be willing to live without labels. To be willing to go a little to the left or a little to the right if it keeps you from getting stuck. Be willing to be willing, and have an amazing week. Thank you.